weren't ready when it came along. Came along way too soon.
Stephanie Miller, weekday mornings 8 to 11 on WCPT 820.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Are you excited about being a new grandmother?
Of course I am. A little intimidated, too.
Why?
Taking care of a baby today is so different than when I had you.
But, Mom, you did great with me.
Thanks, son. But I put you on your stomach to sleep.
Right. But now we know that babies should always be placed on their backs to sleep for naps and at night to reduce the risk of sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS.
You also slept with blankets and toys in your crib.
True. But now we know to keep everything out of the crib except for my sweet baby girl. No blankets, pillows, or other soft or loose items.
Daddy's going to teach Nana all the ways to keep you safe while you sleep. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
For more tips on safe sleep for babies, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. That's safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome, and he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky, but that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram, and it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child...
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
Welcome back to The Gailey Show. I'm John Parker. We're coming up on the top of the hour. Rex Ogle is the author of over 100 books. He's been an editor and writer at Marvel Comics and DC Comics. Also, doing a little research, according to his website, he's hiked the Kearsarge Pass in the Inyo National Forest and the Sierras. I hope I pronounced that correctly. His favorite letter is X. Good thing, as he's literally written the X-Men. And apparently he's part of the conspiracy theory that believes hot dogs are sandwiches. It's too bad about that.
100% true. It's meat and bread. It is a sandwich.
I stand with science and the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, who say otherwise.
What? I've never heard this, and I will fight you because the hot dog is a sandwich. I fight dirty. I'm from Trailer Park in Texas.
It is not, there's no such thing as a sandwich eating contest, as the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council so correctly points out. It's a hot dog contest. Anyway.
In the Venn diagram, a hot dog falls under the sandwich umbrella, but it is a hot dog.
It's been good seeing you, Rex. Goodbye. No, I'm joking. All right, so for some of our folks, some of our folks, unfortunately, have not seen Peacemaker or have read the comics yet. So can you give an overview of both Peacemaker and Eagly for our listeners who haven't?
Yeah, essentially, Peacemaker is a guy named Chris Smith. He grew up very abused in a trailer park. Obviously, that's why I love the character. But it's because his dad was very racist. In the show, his dad was in the Ku Klux Klan, like super racist. Chris believes in peace at any means necessary, and he doesn't care how many people he has to kill or how many dicks he has to bring peace. That is a quote from the Suicide Squad movie. So I'm allowed to say that. That's not my quote. That is a quote from the movie.
We still might have to believe that.
If John Cena can say it, I can say it. But I did lean into his open sexual nature in the comic book. There is a queer flight attendant who may or may not sniff his underwear at one point. The
Peacemaker,
final
not his own.
Yeah. No, Peacemaker throws him his underwear while he's getting naked to fight the bad guys, and as one does.
Yeah, obviously. And then Eagly.
Yes, Eagly is his sidekick. Eagly is an actual eagle. It is not superpowered. It is not super intelligent. Well, it's an intelligent bird. He's Chris's best friend.
Okay.
So
good. So I don't think, it wouldn't be spoilers to kind of catch people up to where the story's been, because it's a mini-series coming in there. So can you kind of give folks like the previously on
Yeah,
Peacemaker?
so essentially this was going to be part of the DC, and then it was outside the DC, like the canon, and now it's considered Peacemaker season 1.5, so technically it's like a little story that takes place in between season 1 and season 2.
Wow.
Which is on right now. And yeah, basically after saving the world, Chris, aka Peacemaker, is like, I need a vacation, and Eagly basically suggests Alaska, but on the way, their plane is intercepted by a group of assassins that are trying to kill him and everyone else on board the plane. And believing in peace at any means necessary, he protects the people as best he can, and ends up in a fight with an assassin at the end of the book who's in a jockstrap. So you should check it out, because here's the thing: James Gunn let me have fun, and this is so different from what I write as kids' books.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have a good time, and I did have a good time.
So so this takes place between both seasons. Okay, so it's not like this could end up on the screen.
No.
Plans for a second?
Fingers crossed. You never know when these things happen. They kind of just pop up.
Well, a lot of the stuff that you're sharing there, I'm sure we've got a lot of people that just went and pre-ordered their copies.
Well, yeah,
So
that's the thing.
Hopefully, if it sells well.
I don't think a lot of people know about it, but I'm like, oh, the gay community would love to see this, because John Cena in his tidy whities on screen, it made me so happy, and I'm like, James Gunn, you know how to make your customers happy. So thank you for that. Also, I met John Cena at a book event because he did a picture book for kids a few years back. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Wait. John Cena did a picture book?
Yes. And he wrote it himself. He didn't even have a ghostwriter, which makes me love him even more, because so many celebrities are like, yeah, I'll just hire someone to write a book for me so I can make some money. No, he wrote it, and it's super cute, and he's so nice, and he's so giant. Oh my gosh, I'm like a little chihuahua around him.
What was it about?
I think it was a truck. I don't remember the book, but I remember exactly how he looked in his suit, which was basically spandex.
Wow.
Every muscle. Oh, it was yes, it was about a monster truck, and the name of the book is Elbow Grease.
Well, there you go.
There we go.
So, do you have any events tied to the it's book signing. Do you have any book signings, or I guess there isn't ratings of a comic book?
But this comic book, I don't think it made a big enough splash. But next month, I'm going to the Texas Book Festival and the National Council of Teachers of English annual conference, as well as some other library show, and it's great because librarians and teachers are fighting the good fight against banned books. In the last week, I've gotten 3 different emails from teachers being like, I'm going to get fired for teaching your books. If you could write a letter to help me keep my job. And I'm like, please do not get fired over defending books. Do not do it. And they're like, but this is my job to get important stories into the hands of those kids who need them. And it's just a scary time.
The upcoming book is Peacemaker Presents The Vigilante Eagly double feature. It drops November 11th. We've got links in our show notes and on our website for you to get your own copy. For the other 100 books, you can head to rexogle.com. That's rexogle.com. Rex, it's always good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me. Anytime.
All right, folks, have a great weekend. Be sure to tune in tomorrow from 2 to 6 p.m. for all of AM 950's LGBTQ shows, and then on WCPT out Chicago at 11 a.m. on Sunday till 1 p.m. with your best friends, Scott and Ellen. Until Monday, keep it queer, America.
Did you know? VA home loans are a key to home ownership for those who served.
I would tell anybody who is interested in getting a VA loan to just do it.
For me, the best thing about the VA loan was the simplicity of it. I was expecting, government paperwork, it was going to go on forever, and it just wasn't.
Since the down payment for a VA loan is minimal, we were able to purchase this home and then use the money that we were going to use as a down to actually fix up the home.
And the only way we could do that was because the nest egg that we had saved for the down payment, we didn't have to use because we went the VA route.
This is a wonderful benefit that veterans can take advantage of.
In the military, we make a lot of sacrifices. We're away from our family a lot. And with the VA loan, it's a way that it makes it easier for us to get a home.
To learn more about VA home loans, visit va.gov/home loans.
Tune into the Thom Hartmann radio program, your home for news, opinion, and insight, right here on WCPT 820, where facts matter.
AP News, I'm Marcela Sanchez. A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas went into effect in Gaza today. This came hours after Israel's cabinet approved a deal to pause the fighting and exchange the remaining hostages for Palestinian prisoners. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted in a mortgage fraud case. After her indictment, James said she would stay on the job.
I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
James is President Trump's latest foe to be prosecuted by his Justice Department. Opposition activist Marina Corina Machado of Venezuela has won the Nobel Peace Prize. In opening remarks, the chair of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, Jørgen Vatne Friednes, says Machado worked tirelessly to keep democracy alive in her home country.
This is precisely what lies at the heart of democracy. Our shared willingness to defend the principles of popular rule, even though we disagree. At a time when democracy is under threat, it is more important than ever to defend this common ground.
Peru's Congress voted early this morning to remove President Dina Boluarte from office. Lawmakers held a debate and impeachment trial late yesterday, after voting to accept 4 requests for a vote to remove Boluarte over what they said was her government's inability to stem crime. This is AP News. The U.S. Navy and the Marine Corps have kicked off their 250th birthday celebrations.
A parade of ships streamed up and down the Delaware River by Philadelphia to kick off a celebration of the 250th birthdays of the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps, complete with a military flyover that included
4 FA-18 Super Hornets from the Carrier Air Wing 3, 2 Marine Corps F-35 Lightning II, and 2 Marine Corps MV-22 Ospreys.
Among the ships that took part,
the USCGC Lawson, the USS Cooperstown, the USS Arlington, the USS Billings.
The multi-day celebration will include a reunion of veterans, a downtown street parade, and a concert featuring singer Patti LaBelle, the Navy Band, and the Marine Corps Drum and Bugle Corps. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And I'm Marcela Sanchez, AP.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Cloudy skies expected today with a slight chance of rain showers. High of 67. Winds out of the southwest, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies tonight. Slight chance for showers. Lows dip down to about 49. Highs level off around 67 tomorrow. Mainly clear skies. Mainly clear Sunday with daytime highs approaching 71. 75 Monday. That's your latest Chicago weather update. Currently 50.
This is WCPT telling you
you can shop blue. During Donald Trump's 2024 presidential campaign, and now even, he had his rallies where he poorly danced to the YMCA. Let's take a look at all the musicians who threatened to sue Donald Trump if he used any of their music at his rallies. ABBA, Adele, Aerosmith, Andrew Lloyd Webber, The Animals, Beyonce, Bruce Springsteen, Celine Dion, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Earth, Wind & Fire, Elton John, The Foo Fighters, Free, Guns N' Roses, Linkin Park, Neil Young, Nickelback, Olivia Rodrigo, Ozzy Osbourne, Panic at the Disco, Pharrell Williams, Phil Collins, and yes, that includes Genesis too, guys, The Estate of Prince, Queen, R.E.M., Rihanna, The Rolling Stones, Spinal Tap, Tom Petty, and Twisted Sister. So if you're looking to buy some records or go see a concert, I consider checking those artists out. This has been WCPT telling you how you can shop blue.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
It's Chew's Views with Richard Chew. Filling in today for Richard Chew. Co-host of the Family Meeting, event planner, and champion for democracy, Michelle Peltier.
Good morning, WCPT listeners. It's Friday! And it's Friday, October 10th, and it's 48 degrees outside, Henry. It's time, people. We had a good run, but, what are you going to do? Good run. So this is my last day. It's been a real crazy week in a good way. And I just want to do something right now, if you'll indulge me. Because I've ended the show every day this week I don't know when it ends. I don't know. Richard's got that whole big thing that he does, which is amazing. It gets you ready to take on the day. So I'm going to do that now, if that's okay, while nobody's listening. I just kind of wanted to thank everybody. I wanted to thank the listeners, those of you who stayed with me for an hour, a day, or all week.
Isn't the show 2 hours?
Is it 2? Yeah. Did I say 1?
Yeah.
Well, I meant if you stayed with me for 1 minute, 1 hour, one day, or the whole week for both hours. That's what I was taking it in increments. Because, some people turned it on and didn't hear Richard's voice and, were like, I don't know who that is. But I'm not feeling her. It's too early to get to know somebody all over again. So that's what I mean. So thank you guys, because, we're here because of you, because you listen. So thank you. And Richard will be back on Monday, and your lives will get back to normal. I also cannot leave this chair without thanking the staff at WCPT. Y'all don't know. Let me just tell you. There is Devin. There's Andy. There's Henry, who I'm looking at his beautiful face and beautiful hair right now.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome. I'm telling you guys don't know. There's a machine over here. From the clips to the guests to... They rock and roll. So there's no way I could have been able to sit in this chair every morning this week without help from all of them. So I'm extremely grateful to you guys. I also want to thank the people who were brave enough to let me interview them. I'm sure Andy didn't tell him. She has no idea what she's doing. So I thank author Matt Ruff, Democratic strategist and podcaster Mike Nellis, of course, Kurt Mullet, friend of the show from TruBlu, Anita Brickman, president and CEO of the Plasma Protein Therapeutics Association, Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers, and from Tennessee, my new son, State Representative Justin J. Pearson, who's going to be the next congressman from Tennessee. If you guys did not see that interview, you need to go back in the archives and look look it up because he's an amazing young man, and I think he's going to do even more great things with his life. And you know who else I can't forget? It's John Fugelsang. That was a delight. And we got two guests coming up later on in the show, our beloved Karen Byrne and Carol Daniel, who I'm excited for you all to meet and get to know. Finally, and most importantly, my good friend Richard Chu, who gives me the honor and the privilege of spending time with you when he takes much needed breaks. I have to tell you, it's been such a gift to watch him grow his platform, creating and nurturing this community that he's designed, and he's designed it for change, for the good. So I'm grateful to be a part of his life. I'm not just his friend. I am a fan. I mean, come on, honey. I'm not a morning person, but I'm up listening to Choose Views. Because I know I could sleep in Saturday and Sunday. So, and Mr. Eric Grant, host of the Family Meeting, but for him, I wouldn't be on the air at all. So, just wanted to give some thanks to some people, because like I said, I end the show in a cattywampus way, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to fit it in again today. So, thank you. So, my love, Henry, how you doing today? You good?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I'm glad it's Friday.
Yeah, me too.
You ready for the weekend?
I'm so ready for the weekend. I'm so ready for the weekend. This week needs to be over.
I know. It has been one, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Got armed guards in the streets, and you know,
like every day it's something horrible and new. And I'm just like, wow, what a time to be alive,
right? So today, live, local, and progressive, North Central College political science professor William Muck will be in for Joan Esposito, talking to William Einhart, former Illinois congressman and adjunct general of Illinois, Phil Barker, political science professor and co-host of the Politics Lab podcast, and Garrett Epps, constitutional law professor and legal affairs editor at the Washington Monthly. Live and progressive, weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 AM, heartlandsignal.com. Let's do some quick choose news. And the theme of the week has been what? Invasion, occupation. We're going to end with it. So, National Guard members were spotted early Thursday at an Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention center in Broadview, hours before a federal judge blocked DT's administration from deploying the troops in Illinois. The Texas National Guard, which arrived in the area earlier this week, had been expected throughout the Chicago area, but were rarely in plain view at Broadview. Those troops were federalized by the Trump administration following a series of intense confrontations between protesters and federal immigration enforcement officers taking part in Operation Midway Blitz, the mass deportation mission being carried out in Chicago and the suburbs. That's what it's called, Operation Midway Blitz. It was unclear whether the troops will remain at the federal property in Broadview following the ruling from U.S. District Judge April Perry, who said that National Guard troops are not trained. Let me say this again. They are not trained in de-escalation or other extremely important law enforcement functions that would help quell these problems. And that allowing troops to come into Illinois will only add fuel to the fire that the defendants themselves have started. The Department of Defense did not immediately respond to requests for comments after the court hearing. In addition, you guys ready for this? If you haven't heard about this, this is U.S. Department of Homeland Security Kirsty Noem said Thursday the agency will expand the physical presence of Immigration and Customs Enforcement beyond its Broadview facility by purchasing buildings throughout the Chicago area. Speaking at a cabinet meeting at the White House, Noem said DT has authorized the building purchases for ICE and said the agency was hardening its existing facilities because of threats of violence. She says, we're purchasing more buildings in Chicago to operate out of. We're not going to back off. In fact, we're doubling down. We're going to be in more parts of Chicago in response to the people there. Who's she talking to? Did you hear what I said? In response to the people there. Are we people running and calling her and saying, oh my God, there's violence. There's violence in the streets. It's horrible.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is what she says, Henry. I was there a few days ago and looked at some facilities that we can deploy more law enforcement out of because they're trying to do with these riots and what they're trying to do with these riots and violence is to distract us and keep us from going after those murderers and rapists that are on the streets, she said, noting her visit to Broadview last Friday. You know, can we play clip one? It applies today. Got it? Because, yeah. Take it.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system.
That's not the one I want. So what I'm saying is I feel like we are in the Twilight Zone. I probably named them both clip one. Here we go.
Portrait of a Bush League Fuhrer named Peter Vollmer. A sparse little man who feeds off his self-delusions and finds himself perpetually hungry for want of greatness in his diet. And like some goose-stepping predecessors, he searches for something to explain his hunger and to rationalize why a world passes him by without saluting. The something he looks for and finds is in a sewer. In his own twisted and distorted lexicon, he calls it faith, strength, truth. But in just a moment, Peter Vollmer will ply his trade on another kind of corner, a strange intersection in a shadowland called the Twilight Zone.
And they're all like that. Not just DT. That whole stuff that she just said, that was not real. She literally made it up. I cannot with these people. I just... So let me tell you all who are listening to my screaming, crazy voice this morning. We're not crazy. We are not crazy. We are living in the upside down world right now. Look, we just have to cling to each other and know that, as we've been saying, this is not normal. I don't know. Let's take a quick break, Henry. We'll be right back, y'all. Lines are open if you want to call.
WCPT replay.
Very happy to welcome John Fugelsang back to our airwaves.
The history of America is that we're the only nation where our Christianity is completely entwined with white supremacy. No other country on earth has that history but us. The entire history of America are these revoltingly horrible, toxic Christians pushing slavery, pushing segregation, but the flip side is there's always the other Christians, the ones who follow Jesus and their allies, non-Christians and atheists, the liberal Christians, who have pushed back. When the Christians were doing segregation, it was a Baptist minister, Martin Luther King, who used the scriptures to shame these guys. Throughout the whole history of this country, Christians have just fought for the most evil policies, and Christ followers and their allies have always had to beat back the toxic Christians.
Keep listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
It's Chew's Views. Filling in for Richard Chew, it's Michelle Peltier.
And we're back. You know, it's not good to be old and riled up in the morning time. I'm not quite sure if it's the healthy thing to do. But before I go any further, I want to mention that Sister Jean passed away. Sister Jean Dolores Schmidt, the chaplain for the men's basketball team at Loyola Chicago, who became a beloved international celebrity during the school's fairy tale run to the Final Four of the NCAA tournament in 2018, has died, the university announced last night. She was 106. And she was a delightful woman. I mean, when she was, I know everybody knows that Joe Biden's Catholic. I mean, he's Catholic. And during the not the inauguration, the convention, the Democratic National Convention. So I live in an area where a lot of the hotels are, where a lot of the people stayed. They didn't stay downtown by, the convention center. And I had heard that she was staying at a hotel by me, and that Joe Biden came and stayed at a hotel across the street so that he could spend some time with her while he was in town. I know. And wasn't she like 99 when she threw the baseball across the... I think she was.
That's crazy. Good for her.
I know. She was a delightful woman. So God rest her soul. She lived a good, long, hearty life and was beloved by many people. We have a Pam. We have a call. Can y'all tell I have had no sleep all week? Good morning, Pam.
Yes, you have a Pam on the line. How are you?
I'm good, Pam on the line. How are you?
Overall, I'm well, and I just told Henry that I, too, am trying to navigate through this Twilight Zone, which, by the way, is one of my favorite programs.
These youngins today don't know nothing about that, right?
Well, they better ask somebody, right. And they better go check it out. You know how we do. They better ask somebody.
That's right. What's on your mind today, Pam?
Good to hear you this entire week, Michelle. And I just shot an email to Richard and just thanking him because I appreciate you, your infectious laugh, and I've enjoyed the interview. So,
Pam, thank you so much. You never know if anybody's out there. You hung out with me the whole week. That really makes me so happy. Thank you.
Yeah, and I mean it. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I just wanted to talk first. I don't know who watched Jimmy Kimmel last night, but he had this piece on there where he asked people to take footage, and it was like hashtag something about the hellhole that you're in, and all the cities where the National Guard and ICE agents. He wanted people to send in footage of the chaos, and I encouraged people to take a look at that. It was so funny, and Governor Pritzker did a piece.
Oh, he did?
So you all, yes. Yeah. Oh, it was really funny. So everybody take a look at that. So to get serious for a moment, Michelle, we know that this administration will lie about any and everything.
Truth's not in them, as we say.
It's really not. And I'm always saying that this is the adjudicated sexual abuser who is best friends, Epstein is now dead, but he was best friends with a child rapist, a person who raped and sex trafficked 13 and 14-year-olds.
Pam, say that one more time.
Sure. He is an adjudicated sexual abuser, convicted felon, who was best friends with Epstein, a child rapist. The rape of children, 13 and 14-year-old. Now, that is serious, people, in itself. And, Michelle, people ask, well, we can talk about Epstein, but it's not going to bring this president down, and his followers, the MAGAs, are still going to support him. That is not the point.
Thank you.
The major point is that we should want to know about a sex trafficking ring that the president's best friend operated. And guess what, Michelle? And to everybody out there, the sex trafficking ring didn't die or stop with Epstein.
Thank you. You're right. That's still happening right now.
Thank you. We ought to know the millionaires and billionaires who supported it.
Yep.
So let me just offer another piece to this. Tara Palmieri, P-A-L, I think M-E-R-I, she's an investigative reporter, has absolutely some of the most current information on this. And the latest connection to the Epstein sex ring and Ghislaine Maxwell is, guess who? Senator Lisa Murkowski's husband.
Oh.
Now, while we're in the midst of being attacked by the administration, you know, the Democratic leadership, they've been releasing some of the documents that they've been reviewing and have access to in oversight. So I'm asking you all, please listen to her reporting.
Okay.
Because as I said, Senator Murkowski's husband had some kind of relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, that they were at a fundraising event and some other events. So this is documented fact. And guess who, Michelle, had the last vote, I believe, on whether or not to release the Epstein files? It was Senator Murkowski.
Of course. It's all connected. They're all in this dirty nastiness together.
So we don't know who is on that list, but we need to continue to press until we find out. So that's that portion on that. So that's why we should want to stop this sex ring, and we should want to know who's having sex with little children and sex trafficking. That's important.
Okay.
And next, for the Democratic Party, Michelle, and I'll ask this question, and you can discuss it, you know, as we end the conversation. The Democratic Party, why aren't they talking about repealing the big nasty bill? I don't call it the ugly bill. I call it the big nasty bill because that's the language that the White House understands.
Yeah.
Why aren't they consistently talking about repealing it as well as fighting for health care? I know we're still in the shutdown, and I'm like, no health care, no vote.
Right.
And people need to understand that if the Republicans wanted to open the government, they could. If they wanted to vote to install the newly elected Arizona representative, they could.
Yes.
They have the numbers to do that, Michelle.
It's just, well, for that one, what's his name won't let him do it.
Exactly.
The speaker, he won't let him do it.
Yes.
I mean, he's a horrible little man.
and just a liar, and he knows. And when they confronted him, just continue to lie. So I like to see the Democratic Party talk about all day and every day how you're going to repeal the big nasty bill. Next, since we have this national media attention, and I've said it before, let's just strategically release the Epstein file.
Yeah. Yep.
So wherever Christine Noem is going to purchase a building, let's just have some really nice signs that say release the Epstein file, because we know that will get under the skin of this administration. And then lastly, Michelle, the Democratic Party, talk about how you're going to put money in the hands of people. And immediately I thought about this, and you can discuss it later, or people can call in and say what they think. With our military, you know, these payday loans and other institutions, they prey on our military service people, and families. One reason is because of the income. Why not change the pay structure? Is it possible, since our federal government is all doing and all knowing, the Democratic Party should just say, we're going to change the pay structure of the military from biweekly or whatever it is to weekly. Why can't we at least pay our military on a weekly basis? And increase the amount of money? I don't even know what the starting salary is for military, starting pay.
Yeah.
But so I'm just saying that pool, the veterans and military, that pool of Americans we could start immediately to try to put more money in their hands so they can at least not have so much dependency on these payday loans, which, by the way, I think this administration deregulated so that they could take advantage of more people.
Probably because I'm sure that their friends are billionaires and, so they're all in cahoots, as we know.
So those are just some things I'm thinking. Start talking about repealing the bill. Start talking about how you want to change the structure for at least the military so that they can get money on a weekly basis. And then also talk about the disrespect. He called people in uniform military suckers and losers.
Oh, yeah.
So he doesn't care if he deploys them to dangerous situations.
Yeah.
They weren't trained to, work in civilian, environment.
Yep.
And he doesn't care about them. So those are just a few things I thought about. But glad to hear you finishing out the week. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question. So do you write all this stuff down? I love your dedication and your passion. And are you writing? Are you calling other shows? Do you have a Substack? What are you doing?
I don't have a Substack, but as we talk, Michelle, I do call other shows. I do call and write to our elected officials. I'm a big proponent of that.
Yep.
If I can't do anything else. Also, I call and write the media because I hold them accountable for their reporting.
Good
and
job.
I ask other people to do the same. We've got to because they're getting it so wrong and they're complicit.
Yes, they are.
In the rise of this mess. I don't know what this mess, for lack of a better word.
There is a better word. We just can't say it on the air.
It really is. So, yes, I am always trying to communicate and always trying to do what I can, Michelle, to stand up for what's right. And, we talked about this, the GWP, the good white people. You all are out there. You have to fight back and be back on this because they're using racism and the hate of everything other to just continue this divide.
Yeah.
Now, they talk about transgendered people and gay and lesbian. They don't have a problem with Peter Thiel and his husband. They didn't have a problem.
Yes, you did it.
They don't have a problem with wealthy gay people who are donors. I mean, let's talk, right? I mean, Michelle, let's be real.
Oh, my goodness. Pam, yes.
They didn't have a problem with Caitlyn Jenner,
right,
who I think was an advisor.
We love us some Pam today. What a great way to end the week.
I don't have a problem with them either. I have a problem with their politics and who they support.
Right. Oh, yeah, I got your point. We all got the point. That's great.
Yeah, but see, they don't really have a problem. And then lastly, when you talk about people creeping into bathrooms, molesting and kidnapping children, the main perpetrators are adults.
Yes.
And to be more specifically, straight men.
Very true.
Who are doing that. Check it out. I'm not making it up. Look at it.
Data proves that you are correct.
Thank you. And then lastly, I'm sorry, I must get this in. With Governor Abbott, he would be better served to have his National Guard deal with the child rapist in Texas. The MAGA preacher, MAGA preacher, Robert Morris, who is this sexual abuser's spiritual advisor, was just convicted of, guess what? Having sex with children.
Of course.
Over decades.
It's their thing, apparently.
And there's a ring of pastors in Texas. I read in their local paper, I can't remember the name. There's a ring of them who are, brutalizing violently, because rape is a violent crime, a violent action, and they're committing this against children. So I think his National Guard would be better served trying to deal with that issue.
I would agree. Pam?
So I'll leave it there. Thank you, Michelle.
No, Pam, thank you. Let me just, before you hang up, because I want to make sure that you hear me. Everybody who has heard Pam's voice, let that be Pam. Be Pam. Pay attention. Be vocal. You don't have to have a show. You don't have to have a podcast. You can be heard and you can affect change because Pam is. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Have a great weekend.
You too, and I'll be listening. Okay.
Good. Call us on
Sunday.
Sunday.
Okay. I will. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, do we love her?
No, Pam's amazing. I love her so much.
She broke it down. I don't need to say anything else. Let's just wait for Karen to get here. So listen, let me do this really quick. And should we do news? Okay, so let me do this really quick. Tonight on Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez, she'll be joined by guest host, author, and historian Adam Selzler. And their guests will include Yolanda Andrazo, executive director of One Aim, Illinois. Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez, weekdays from 5 to 7 Central on WCPT. Okay, be right back.
Listen up, fellow timeshare owners. If you're a timeshare owner and you want out at all costs, you're done. Frustrated, tired of wasting money, you don't use the darn thing. Get out now. Hire the best Bulldog timeshare cancellation team in the business. Their in-house legal team, headed by a timeshare cancellation lawyer, can help you fight the biggest and baddest companies out there that sell timeshare. At some point, you were using your timeshare, but now you're not, and you're tired of wasting money. Before you go to the poorhouse, call right now and learn how you can stop the maintenance fees and put more money back in your pocket. Their services cost you a lot less than you think, and you'll save a lot of money over time. Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline now. It's a free consultation.
800-296-0150. 800-296-0150. 800-296-0150. That's 800-296-0150.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Cloudy skies expected today with a slight chance of rain showers. High of 67. Winds out of the southwest, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies tonight. Slight chance for showers. Lows dip down to about 49. Highs level off around 67 tomorrow. Mainly clear skies. Mainly clear Sunday with daytime highs approaching 71. 75 Monday. That's your latest Chicago weather update. Currently, it's 50 degrees.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I volunteer with United Way, reading to children to help prepare them for a better academic future. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
It's Choose You with Richard Chu. Filling in for Richard Chu, it's none other than Michelle Peltier.
And we're back. 773. What is the number? 773-763-9278. Woo. Welcome back, you guys. I appreciate you. I'm sorry I'm so punch drunk. I'm just tired. You know why I'm tired, Henry?
Why is that?
Because I'm old.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
But in all seriousness, so we heard about what happened yesterday, the indictment that came down, and just for a moment, I want us to listen to A.G. James.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties. His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president, is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country. This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
I'm telling you what, she is one strong woman. How long have we been dealing, I should say she, how long has she been going? Over 2 years, right?
Yeah. Something like that, I think. Yeah. If we don't know anything about DT, we do know not only does he not like women for real, he just cannot stand black women. It's like, yeah.
I mean, it causes him angst and pain.
Like, actually. Actually.
And she's on his list. Of course, Kamala's on his list. Jasmine Crockett's on his list. Our Supreme Court beloved justice is on that list. Shoot, if he knew me, I'd be on that list. Yeah. Actually, though. I just want everybody to be like Pam, seriously, and pay attention, because that matters. You know, this woman is being prosecuted. She didn't do anything wrong, right? Jake Tapper's being prosecuted, and he didn't do anything wrong. It's a waste of our time, and it's a waste of our taxpayer dollars that we have this child running this country. He's a child, seriously, running on hate fumes and ignorance. Just, I was going to remain happy today.
It's good vibes. It's Friday, everybody.
I think it's really important. I think it's especially important for our white brothers and sisters, right? Because it's your turn. You're up at bat now. And it's really important for you to understand and recognize what we don't consider nuances, but you may, right?
Yeah, like actually.
Yeah. So, because, you know, we live with this when we come out of the womb. We're, you know, I mean, the clip I played, I don't remember what day that was, with Kevin talking about how he's got to talk to his black boys about life being different for them. They can't wear a hoodie. They can't, because they live in suburbs. They can't walk around and be themselves because they might get in trouble. So I implore, I ask white people to just pay attention, you know, and listen to the Pams in the world. Everybody's got one, you know, somebody that's well-read and knows what's going on and can direct you and who to call and who to talk to, right? Ooh, child, I tell you right now. As Eric would say, my kidney bone is hurting. Okay, so I'm going to talk more with Karen about this, but let's hear what Robert De Niro has to say about No Kings. Oh, okay, well, we'll just wait on that. What do you have ready? I'm sure it applies. Huh? Oh, can we do this? So you guys listen. I am I used to be addicted to TV. TV's not fun anymore because you've got apps and, you just can't turn on your TV and look at it. And I don't have regular TV anymore because it's attached to cable. And so I had to break up with cable because it's cost $1,000 a month. So, I'm just looking at old stuff that I grew up on, stuff that I fall asleep to, all that stuff. So, one of my favorite movies is, which one you got?
Few Good Men, Few Good Men and JFK.
Okay, so I want you to hear this clip. It's really, 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 really short, but it's appropriate for, I feel like, what's happening right now. Okay, and then I'll tell you what movie it comes from if you don't know. Okay, let's go.
It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma. The fucking shooters don't even know what.
We're all fired today. No. There's a 10-minute delay, right?
Yes.
A 10-second delay.
Yeah, no one heard that.
Don't you love it? It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen that movie?
I have not, but I've heard that clip before. Yeah.
Okay, so that was from JFK with Kevin Costner. And I mean, come on, y'all. That's a great movie, and talk about complexities and layers and nuance. And at least those people were smart. I don't know what we're dealing with now. We're dealing with these people who just... Let me just mention this because it really bothers me. When I woke up this morning, I think I do what everybody does now, which is unfortunate. You grab your phone, see what was scrolling across your screen while you were sleeping. And the first thing I see, I think it was from HuffPost, it said, Nobel Peace Prize Committee snubbed DT again. I threw my phone across the room. It was not a good way to start the day.
No, that's not at all.
Because what? Snubbed? This is not the Academy Awards, people. What are you talking about? I'm beside myself with all of it, right? Because he doesn't even know what it takes to get a Nobel Peace Prize. Because remember, he's a child. He's an infant. Why does he want the Nobel Peace Prize, Henry?
Because someone said he couldn't have it.
And what's the other big reason? Barack Obama got one first.
Oh, actually, yeah, true. Actually, true. True.
That's the only reason he wants it. This is his thinking. This is the thinking of racist people like him. Mm-hmm. This is what he's thinking. He's thinking, well, that black guy got one. Surely I can get one.
Exactly, yeah.
It must be easy. You don't have to do anything really to get a Nobel Peace Prize because the black dude over there. I mean, come on. That's why he's president. I want to cuss so bad this morning, honey. I want to let the expletives fly. But that's why he's there. And so what does the media do? The media feeds that crap that lives in him. That byline, that should not have even existed. What does that mean? It's not a contest. This is not that. Monday on Choose Views. Richard will be back. Yay! And his guests will include Gloria J. Brown Marshall, professor, writer, activist, playwright, and author of the new book, A Protest History of the United States. Perfect, right on time. Sarah Jones, managing editor and co-publisher at Politicus USA. And Rich Logis and Anthony Brooks of Leaving MAGA. He's on live weekdays 6 to 8 Central at 8:20 a.m. on TuneIn from heartlandsignal.com or watch the live video stream on Facebook and YouTube. Oh, and one more thing. On Wednesday, October 15th, let's not forget, because that's next week, isn't it? Is that next week or the week thereafter? I don't know what day it is. It's the 10th, so it's next week.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Yes. Like it's the 10th. Okay. Tom Hartman and Richard will be co-hosting the labor panel at Max and Benny's, not in Broadview as previously scheduled. If you can't make it out to the labor panel, be sure to tune in to WCPT next Wednesday between 3 and 5. Before we go to a break, I want to take a moment and talk about Portland. They are amazing. But I want to know about the furries. Is that a Portland thing?
They definitely are there for sure also.
I mean, that's how they're coming up to protest in those costumes, which is cute, but I'm not saying I know what furries are, because, you know, it's kind of a thing in another world that I've heard about.
Yeah, for sure.
But they seem to be in abundance in Portland.
Oh, no, yeah, yes. They do be out
I
there.
might have to take a trip just to kind of see what's going on over there. And let's hear our last movie clip real quick, because Karen should be on her way. I won't have time to play it.
You snotty little bastard.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like to answer the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
If Lieutenant Kendrick gave an order that Santiago wasn't to be touched, then why did he have to be transferred? Colonel, Lieutenant Kendrick ordered the code red, didn't he? Because that's what you told Lieutenant Kendrick to do.
Object! And when it went bad, you cut these guys loose! Your Honor, you had markers inside a phony transfer. Your Honor, you doctored the logbook. Damn it, Captain! You coerced the doctor.
Consider yourself in contempt.
Colonel Jessup, did you order the code red?
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Wait, let me tell you something. So this morning, Henry and I had a rough start. There's all kinds of technical stuff going on. So that clip is a great clip. I wanted us to just say, you can't handle the truth, because that's me saying it to, everybody else. But the whole thing is amazing. It's amazing. And it makes me want to tell a quick story about that clip. So I was in a bar one night years ago, people. I don't want to hear it. I was young. And I was talking to a guy who came up to me, and we started talking about this movie, and he did that scene in its entirety. I didn't go home with him, but I thought about it. Because that's my favorite scene, right? One of my favorite scenes. So I'm working at the cathedral at the time. I'm telling a friend about this occurrence. She's laughing. Unbeknownst to me, one of my favorite priests, who's very, I wouldn't call him shy. He was just quiet. Just didn't. And he was listening to the story, right? And my colleague and I were laughing, about it, because, the guy was also cute too. So anyway, so this priest comes around and comes to my cubicle, and he stands there and he's just looking at me, right? So I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and then all of a sudden, he recites that whole scene. What? What?
That's crazy.
This quiet, soft-spoken priest just brought down the house.
That's awesome.
Okay, I was like, did I tell you I love you today? All right, you ready? You want to take a little break? So I can have a little bit more coffee and talk about some stuff because we've got a nice weekend coming up. I want to talk about the marathon a little bit, and we got two wonderful guests coming up in a few minutes. So we'll be right back.
Check up on health with Chris Whitting.
If you're a parent, you probably think you get sick more often, thanks to your kids bringing home the latest cold or flu bug from school. But according to Rodlicia Sneed from the Psychology Department of Carnegie Mellon University,
compared to non-parents, people who had children were 52% less likely to develop colds. We saw the effect in both people whose children lived with them and those whose children lived away from home.
So what's behind this finding that parents are healthier than people who don't have kids?
Well, we think there may be some psychological benefits associated with having children. People who have kids might be more satisfied with their lives. They may feel as though they have a purpose in life, or they might be just simply more optimistic about life.
The study also found that the bigger your family, the healthier you are. For Checkup on Health, I'm Chris Whitting.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
It's Chu's Views with Richard Chu. Filling in for Richard Chu, it's none other than the one and only Michelle Peltier.
Hi. Okay, so I'm discombobulated now because my girl Karen is in the house. So we're starting with her a little bit early. But before she and I get started, let's talk about the marathon just a little bit because that's this weekend. More than 50,000 people will line up Sunday morning for a 26.2-mile tour of Chicago on foot. Crazy. And they pay money for the privilege. The 47th running of the Bank of America Chicago Marathon draws people from all walks of life, each with their own motivation for the race. So if you were listening to me this week, you know that 22 years ago this week, I ran the marathon.
Crazy person.
I was crazy.
You know, my dad's a marathoner.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, he is 87 now. He teaches snowboarding up at Cascade Mountain.
Stop.
And he runs as fast as he possibly can. His last marathon that he did was the Marine Corps Marathon, the first time around with the guy in the White House.
Yeah.
He finished off his marathon career with that. He did the Ironman 2 times.
That's insane. Yeah. That's insane.
He's a crazy person.
Everybody.
I've seen the toenails. I mean, it's not pretty.
Everybody, if you're just joining us, I know you recognize the voice. This is Karen Byrne, the friend of the show. She's been with us for a long, long time, since the beginning, I think. And good morning, my dear.
Good morning.
So
Thanks
good to
for
see
having
you.
me. It's so good to see you.
you.
And by the way, everybody needs a Pam. I love Pam. I am such a fan of
Pam.
Pam.
Is amazing. I want to take her out.
Seriously, I want a pocket Pam.
Yes.
I want to just have like a Pam that I can carry around.
She's amazing.
Yeah, because she
not only is she passionate, but she's just a warm, kind woman.
Yes, she's always.
And she's a girly's girl. She's a woman's woman. You could tell.
Yeah.
Love her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I love her too. Yeah, I would love to have a conversation with her. I've been telling Richard, please hook me up with Pam. I want to talk to Pam. We can meet in Oak Park. We can meet wherever you want.
Wherever she wants. Don't you meet her without me.
Oh no, let's do it.
All right, are we okay? So we're gonna come back with our friend Karen, and then my friend at 7:30, Carol Daniel from Listen St. Louis podcast, PBS. So we're excited. We got a great half an hour, and I don't have to wing it anymore. We'll be right back.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
AP News, I'm Marcela Sanchez. A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas went into effect in Gaza today. This came hours after Israel's cabinet approved a deal to pause the fighting and exchange the remaining hostages for Palestinian prisoners. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted in a mortgage fraud case. After her indictment, James said she would stay on the job.
I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
James is President Trump's latest foe to be prosecuted by his Justice Department. Opposition activist Marina Corina Machado of Venezuela has won the Nobel Peace Prize. In opening remarks, the chair of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, Jørgen Vatne Friednes, says Machado worked tirelessly to keep democracy alive in her home country.
This is precisely what lies at the heart of democracy. Our shared willingness to defend the principles of popular rule, even though we disagree. At a time when democracy is under threat, it is more important than ever to defend this common ground.
Peru's Congress voted early this morning to remove President Dina Boluarte from office. Lawmakers held a debate and impeachment trial late yesterday. after voting to accept 4 requests for a vote to remove Boluarte over what they said was her government's inability to stem crime. This is AP News. The U.S. Navy and the Marine Corps have kicked off their 250th birthday celebrations.
A parade of ships streamed up and down the Delaware River by Philadelphia to kick off a celebration of the 250th birthdays of the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps, complete with a military flyover that included
4 FA-18 Super Hornets from the Carrier Air Wing 3, 2 Marine Corps F-35 Lightning II, and 2 Marine Corps MV-22 Ospreys.
Among the ships that took part,
the USCGC Lawson, the USS Cooperstown, the USS Arlington, the USS Billings.
The multi-day celebration will include a reunion of veterans, a downtown street parade, and a concert featuring singer Patti LaBelle, the Navy Band, and the Marine Corps Drum and Bugle Corps. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And I'm Marcela Sanchez, AP News.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Paul Frombley. Cloudy skies expected today with a slight chance of rain showers. High of 67. Winds out of the southwest, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies tonight. Slight chance for showers. Lows dip down to about 49. Highs level off around 67 tomorrow. Mainly clear skies. Mainly clear Sunday with daytime highs approaching 71. 75 Monday. That's your latest Chicago weather update. Currently, it's 50 degrees.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Welcome to Choose Views with Richard Chu. Get ready to dive into a world of insightful conversations and thought-provoking discussions.
As progressives, our job is to have an all-inclusive, full-on assault with all of our players.
A show that will focus on moving our political, social, economic, gender, and cultural conversation forward.
And all of our players means all of our players.
It's Choose Views. And now, here's your host, Richard Chu.
Filling in for Richard Chu this morning, it's Michelle Peltier.
I love it. I know, me too.
Who is that?
So it's Devin.
Is it Devin? It's
Oh,
Devin.
yeah,
Of course it's Devin.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So welcome back. Tune in Saturday for The Big Picture with Edwin Eisendrath, who will be talking to Claire Jeffrey, editor-in-chief of Mother Jones, Curtis Hertel, chair of the Michigan Democratic Party, G. Elliott Morris, author of The Strength in Numbers Substack newsletter, and Amy Maxman, national public health reporter at KFF Health News. The Big Picture with Edwin Eisendrath, Saturdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Central on WCPT AM, heartlandsignal.com, and tune in. My good friend. It's so good to see you.
So good to see you.
It makes me sad that we live so far apart.
Well, that doesn't matter. I have a car. I can drive.
Well, then you
wherever.
gotta come get me.
Yes, I will come and
I
get
can
you.
take a train or public transportation.
I can meet you. I can come and get you.
You sure?
Yeah, I can come and get you. I'd be happy to.
Okay, because y'all, I don't have a car. Because I'm old.
Stop it. I'm old too. I've got a
Girl,
car.
stop it.
Don't act like that has anything to do with it. You're just smart. Yeah.
You've been busy this week, my dear.
I've been busy. Yeah.
Let's talk about what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Well, okay. So I live in Westchester, and right within walking distance of my home is the Broadview Detention Center. So I'm going to say it's been going on 2 months now. You know, I've been over there, and before the fence was put up illegally, by the way, by the federal government across a public street. Before that was done, we were able to just kind of stand at a safe distance, and my mission there was just to document, just like Governor Pritzker has asked all of us to do.
Yeah.
So I was documenting the vehicles coming in and out. I saw an 11-year-old boy loaded off of one of those vans.
Oh, no.
Along with a bunch of grown men.
Oh.
Okay. There have been, obviously, what makes the news is the tear gas and the pepper pellets and all of that. In order to create the political theater that they need in order to institute martial law here in Chicago, and also justify calling in the Texas National Guard. And, Pam was talking about Abbott, and, something that, I don't think gets talked about enough, and maybe because there's been so much that has happened. But remember this, Greg Abbott, along with Ron DeSantis, illegally abducted, put on buses Venezuelan refugees and trafficked them across state lines and dumped them off in many places, but one of them, the 90 corridor here in Illinois in the middle of winter with no coats. And our girl, Natalie Ziamba, can speak personally to that because she was out there getting coats and feeding and, making sure that these poor people had.
I want you to say that one more time. I want people to be clear about what's going on in those two states and who's leading them and what they're doing.
Yes,
one more
and
time,
what they
please.
did. And so what they did was they did their political stunt, their political theater using innocent people as political pawns. Okay, so that they could create a crisis up here in Chicago. And now they want to send in the National Guard. We don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need any of them.
Here's the thing. None of it's real.
No.
That quote that I read earlier, what that Kristi Noem said, that they're, where people are coming to her,
they're
begging
her with tears in their eye, right? With tears in their eye. Please send us. It's just like there's
are they
mayhem.
dreaming that stuff, or they just sit in a room like a writer's room and write all that crap up? Because it's literally a lie.
It's a lie. It's a lie, but that doesn't matter. I mean, they're just going to peddle all the lies that they need. And, is it distraction? Is it just cruelty? I think it's all of the above.
All of it.
I think it's all of the above.
It's all of it.
Release the files.
Yeah. So finish telling me what happened in Broadview.
So what I was doing initially was, and I was just speaking with family members that were coming looking for their relatives who had just literally been taken. And I wrote a Substack about it. And, it's just heart-wrenching. They're destroying families. They're tearing families apart for no good reason.
Yeah.
People that are hardworking, that were doing the jobs that other people do not want to do, getting paid wages that because Americans don't want to pay. Okay, so they're going to hire crews that have people that will work for less. And when you talk about the post-pandemic economy, this is important too. All of the economists said not only was it a soft landing, it was a miracle. We had one of the best economies, post-pandemic economies, in the world. And the number one reason that they cited, immigration. Our immigrants. Our immigrants showed up during COVID. They were the essential workers, along with others, but they were one of the, primary essential working group of people that were coming out braving their own health, their own lives, when we didn't even know. We were wiping down our groceries, and they were getting on public transportation to come and do the essential jobs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then you have Heads, whatever his name is.
Kegsbreath?
Thank you. He's actually standing in front of a group of people saying our strength is not our diversity.
Yeah.
That actually came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Our strength is not in our diversity.
Yeah.
Who are these people?
Yeah. They're monsters. They're ghouls. They're monsters. I mean, when it's dangerous, and when you have people like Stephen Miller slipping. Did you see that interview where he slipped? And he said that
and his forked
he has
tongue
plenary,
came out.
Yeah, plenary. Yeah, Zeke Heil. Yeah. I mean, that's, this is the thing. When I hear people say that, autocracy is knocking at the door, it's in the house. Mm-hmm. It's in the house. We are in it.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I feel I'm so grateful to people like you who I don't know where this passion comes from in you. I think I have an idea. But you bring people with you on this journey, this fight, this whatever it is we're going through right now. And it's like people like you, people like Pam, people like Richard, who have these forums. I appreciate you so much. As I was saying that, I want to know how that got started. What ignited you? I have an idea, but...
okay. I mean, and I owe a lot to my parents because they, were on the front line, during the civil rights movement, getting open housing in Oak Park. Mm-hmm. That is not extra credit. That is like something that everybody should have been doing. Mm-hmm. We should never have even been in that spot. Mm-hmm. And it's just a basic, we're human beings. We all bleed the same color blood. We all are, I just don't understand. It is bewildering to me. It has never made sense. It's in my gut. It's in my core. So it wasn't even something that I came to. It's just like a basic sense of fairness, kindness.
Yeah.
Inclusivity is though and think about inclusivity. Why does that even have to be a conscious thing? You know what I mean? It just seems to me it's what are we doing here?
Yeah, I have to say this to you about you though. You speak about you as if you're regular. And I'm not saying regular is a bad thing. I'm regular, right? But I'm talking about in the way you see the world. You're very cognizant of the things that are going on around you, whether it be racially, whether it be having to do with being a woman. I mean, I think that you are uber aware of those kinds of things, and you navigate your way around the world being cognizant of all of that stuff. And I say that because of a conversation you and I had. Mm-hmm. When you called me to ask me a question.
Yeah.
And I loved you before then, right? But that was because I don't think that people understand
right.
or respect or appreciate the differences.
Yeah.
Because it matters.
Right.
And recognizing and acknowledging our differences doesn't make us, it doesn't divide us.
No.
I think it makes us closer.
Right. And I think that questioning things and wanting to do better, wanting to know more, and asking questions. We all navigate through this world in our own unique way. Yeah. And I was raised in a pretty affluent, suburb. Mm-hmm. And I had the good fortune at that point. Oak Park was becoming more diverse. I mean, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
No place is.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. And they didn't get everything right.
Yeah.
But they have always strived, to be on the forefront. They were one of the first, small towns to, what's the word I'm looking for? Acknowledge or pass an ordinance for being a sanctuary city. And, I think that it's basic empathy. I think it's basic empathy, and it's basic if you don't know, you don't know. And it's but rather than just saying I don't get it, and so I'm just going to go on with my day, mm-hmm. I want to know. I want to have a better understanding. And I just think that it's it says nothing about us. It says, how do I put this? It doesn't, you can't worry about what it says about you, to ask the questions and to not know.
I think it speaks volumes about you as a person to ask the question.
You have to ask the questions. And if you don't know, and see, here's the thing, for a lot of white liberals out there, it's sometimes all you have to do is just be quiet, and put your ears on and start listening and read, educate yourself. Go out and
listen to different voices and really try to understand.
I mean,
the differences.
police abuse of our black communities has been around. I don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And it became, really came to the forefront. I think, with, I remember, oh my gosh, I remember Trayvon Martin. I remember Tamir Rice, and Breonna Taylor, and I remember Michael Brown, and I remember Laquan McDonald, and I remember how, and then George Floyd. Yeah. And, in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of shutdowns, people were out in the streets.
Yeah.
That for me was honestly one of the most hopeful times. It was one of the worst times, and it was one of the most hopeful times, because when you looked at the crowds that were out there, we were all standing together.
Yeah.
And it was probably one of the first times that white Americans bared witness.
Oh, because it was on film?
Because it was on film.
Mm-hmm.
And
I do think that in a lot of instances, our experience is minimized because it makes other people feel better not to realize the horror of what it can be to be a black person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. I do think that shocked people into kind of oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And so then everybody was running out. And the first book I read was White Fragility.
Yeah.
Because I was dealing with a lot of people that were, okay. I'm just going to say it. I go to this coffee group, and there's this man who calls himself a reformed liberal. That's what he calls himself, okay? He's got issues. Okay, the man has issues. Let me just start. That's our starting point. But he complains about things that, like the Oak Park Library got a director of diversity.
He's complaining about that?
He's complaining about that.
Why is he in your coffee group?
He's not in my coffee group anymore. I will go down.
Oh my.
Yeah. And what he said, he would whine about the fact that there was a diversity mural up there, and nobody looked like him. So,
everywhere he goes, everybody looks like him.
Thank you. And I'm like, did you see the signing of the Declaration of Independence? Go, if you're feeling bad about yourself, Tim, go and take a look at that. Yes, I said his name. No. The last straw for me, there were all these, and he, it's like he'll do it I'm just joking, or I'm just going to throw this out there and get a reaction.
Oh yeah, those people.
And then one of the other men at their table is like, you're taking the bait. He's just trying to get a reaction. I'm like, I am so done. I am done. No white man is going to sit there and throw stuff out just to get a reaction out of me. Mm-hmm. So the last thing he said that I exploded, called him a racist.
Look at you.
I said, get the F out of my way, because he wouldn't move out of my way when I was trying to leave. The last thing he said was, did you see that picture of Kamala Harris on the Edmund Pettus Bridge? Wait for it. He said, one of the other guys at the table, and by the way, it was me, 3 other men, and then this person. And he said, wouldn't it be more historically accurate to put her in a cotton field? I stood up.
It's a wrap.
It was a wrap.
We're going to go find him.
It was a wrap.
And beat him down.
It was a wrap. Got up. I said, you're an effing racist. Shut your effing mouth. Now, I'm the only woman. I'm the only woman. Sure. I stood up. All of the other 3 men stood up and walked out. I'm vocal about it. I tell the woman who owns the shop, I'm like, I'm done. This guy, he's a racist. I am done with him. I have not. That was a year and a half ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm. A year and a half ago. And I have not uttered 2 words to him.
Okay, people, that's what an ally looks like, okay?
And he ran around playing the victim.
Sure,
because I yelled at him.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind the fact that 3 white men got up and walked out.
Oh, of course.
Right.
He's not going to say anything to them.
Right.
Yeah.
And
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. We're going to take a quick break. Roosevelt, I see you. We're going to take your call when we come back, and then you and I are going to talk a little bit more, and then we're going to welcome Carol.
When it comes to the vitamins and supplements you take, quality counts. If you have questions or concerns about the vitamins you plan on taking, we're happy to help. Mark Drugs, better health and care for you and your pets. The most common signs you need a probiotic are if you have taken an antibiotic and need to balance out the gut bacteria, you find yourself getting constantly sick, or you feel bloated, unwell, or have skin issues. We carry high-quality probiotics at our pharmacy, such as Florastore, Floragen, and what I refer to as the Silver Bullet, Orthobiotic, which combines multiple strains of beneficial bacteria and friendly yeast to stimulate optimal gut flora. Get to know your pharmacist. Caring for you, your family, and your overall well-being is what our pharmacists at Mark Drugs stand for. You have a choice when it comes to your healthcare, and a great choice is Mark Drugs in Roselle and Deerfield, where you get better health and care for you and your pets. Check out markdrugs.com for the pet of the month.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Views with Richard Chu. Filling in for Richard Chu, it's none other than the one and only Michelle Peltier.
Welcome back, everybody. 773. What's the number? 773-763-9278. Why am I not remembering it?
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Thank you. Okay, Karen, we're going to take a call. Shan't we? Is there a say? Roosevelt, good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. It's Friday. How are you?
That is fantastic. Hey, listen. Pam just brought something to mind. Thank you, Pam.
Oh, love her. Yes. Let's all thanks to Pam.
Okay. Did you see the exchange? I'm following in Pam's footsteps. Did you see the exchange between Senator Whitehouse, Sheldon Whitehouse, and Pam Bundy when he asked her, "What about the picture of Trump with undressed?"
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I thought about that too, Roosevelt, when she was talking about that. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
We need to not forget the fact that this guy, again, following in Pam's footsteps, that this guy was connected to Epstein. And I think a lot of what's going on right now is look over there, the distraction.
Yeah.
Including the fact of all these raids and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Notice, in general, the press hasn't really brought anything as far as the word Epstein lately. And that is the point. Because even people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I would never have thought that I would be saying that she's right. And she's right about two things. She put the video also on the fact that her grown children, her adult children, to be precise, her own quote, and her own words, couldn't afford insurance because of the cut that this administration is doing by closing the government when they have the majority of the votes to pass it and to reopen the government.
Yeah.
She said this herself.
Yeah.
So on the Epstein side, she's right.
Mm-hmm.
And on the fact of the closure of the government, she's right also.
Mm-hmm.
She says the Republican Party has the vote. The Republican Party has the majority to reopen and vote for it. And constantly, Michelle, we got to mention the fact that the young lady from Arizona, Adelia, what's her name? Adelia Grijalba, hasn't been sworn in.
I know. Wait a minute, Roosevelt, did you see where I intentionally cannot remember the speaker's name because he makes me crazy.
Oh, Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson, thank you. They asked him.
Speaker God Warrior.
They asked him the first time, and he goes, "Oh, we're going to do it, and she's blah, 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 blah. And then they asked him again, and he was like, no, we're not going to do it. Right? So they're terrified. They're terrified of it. Which makes me even more curious. It must be they must all be in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Michelle, in her response, meaning Pam Bundy's response, she didn't deny it. She didn't deny that the photos existed or that Trump didn't do that. Notice, she had, and that's another thing. Pam Bundy had notes on her right side, constantly prepared notes to attack the Democratic senators that were asking her questions. For each one of the senators that asked her a question, she never responded. She never answered the question and attacked the senators rather than the question, what the question was.
Yeah, the disrespect for the whole government, the whole process is off the charts.
Yeah.
They don't have any respect for any of it. Their jobs, the people, none of it.
And I mean, let's not forget, the Republican Party for decades has been trying to undermine and sabotage the workings of the federal government. They don't like they always, big government, whatever. That's BS. They don't like the federal government. They're always running around states' right until they want to send National Guards into the city, into the streets of Chicago. They are grifters. They are liars. They have always been so, and they have used racism to get their voters to vote for them at every turn. And until we do something about codifying voting rights, until we do something about the Electoral College, we got to get out of this mess first. But
I agree with that. I think but I think that if we don't have this conversation about race in this country,
I agree. That's
got
to be the starting point.
All of that stuff, but we're going to end up right back here 30, 40 years.
And I'm telling you, that is why it is so important. When we have these conversations, when racism rears its ugly head in our day-to-day lives, you have got to smack it down. Look, I have said this multiple times. As a white person, and I can guarantee you every single white person listening to me right now has been in a conversation where there have been things said. And how did you react in that moment? I had a gentleman during the Black Lives Matter movement, say, look, I know it's there. What can I do about it? What am I supposed to do about it? And I'm like, well, if you don't want to go to protests, then in your day-to-day conversations with people, when you have it come up, you smack it down, you disrupt it. That's the least you can do.
I'm so glad you said it, Karen, because it's right. I mean, everything, we can affect change in what we do every day.
That's right.
And it's baby steps.
Yeah.
But it's the amount of people that do it and do it every day, all the time, making phone calls, conversations that you have with people and your colleagues.
Yeah.
And there's a way to have the conversation, right? Without it being confrontational.
Right.
Without it being argumentative.
Yeah.
One of my sayings about myself is changing the world one conversation at a time. And I mean that. Because if we really talk to each other,
right.
I mean, have a conversation where I'm not waiting for you to stop talking so I can get my point across. I'm talking about, I'm listening. I'm hearing what you're saying.
Yes.
Because maybe you might change my mind.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, and we have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Right. But if you do it in a loving way, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I did flip the table.
Well, that was different. He was a jerk.
That was more of a Real Housewives table flip.
Roosevelt, we just kind of left you out there,
Sorry,
didn't we?
Roosevelt. We're talking. The ladies are talking.
Ladies, one more thing. Did you hear about what happened to Kristi Noem with the guy in the chicken suit, and what was it? And I think it was Portland, wasn't it?
It was probably Portland. If it was a suit, a furry.
Oh my God. Roosevelt.
Chickens are furries,
Roosevelt,
right?
Did you see that video? There's like something on social media that's going around where they had like a dinosaur, a unicorn, and like a teddy bear, and like you had what's her name, Caroline Levitt, standing up there saying, talking about the dangerous, criminals in Portland, and they show underneath it this like they're dancing around at the protest. It's brilliant.
There's so many of those things. It's hard to keep track.
I know, right? That's why you should have a file. Roosevelt, I don't mean to cut you off, my friend, but we're going to have to go.
Thank you.
We have a guest coming up.
And go Cubs.
Go Cubs. Go Cubs. Roosevelt, have a good weekend. Okay. Okay. Yes, thank you. All right, we're going to take a break for the news, and then we're going to come back with my good friend and the most talented woman in the world, Carol Daniel.
This is a WCPT Veteran Minute. In the midst of World War II, a group of Native American soldiers known as the Code Talkers became silent heroes. The U.S. military faced challenge of secure communications on the battlefield, and these men, primarily from the Navajo tribe, were enlisted to develop an unbreakable code. Using their native language, which had no written alphabet, they transmitted vital messages that were indecipherable to enemy forces. The code proved to be an essential asset, particularly in the Pacific Theater, where it helped the Allies win crucial battles. The Code Talkers' courage and ingenuity saved countless lives and turned the tide of the war. Yet, their contributions remained largely unknown until decades later. The legacy of the Code Talkers stands as a testament to the strength, resilience, and valuable service of Native Americans during one of America's most devastating conflicts. This has been a WCPT Veteran Minute.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Paul Frombley. Cloudy skies expected today with a slight chance of rain showers. High of 67. Winds out of the southwest, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies tonight. Slight chance for showers. Lows dip down to about 49. Highs level off around 67 tomorrow. Mainly clear skies. Mainly clear Sunday with daytime highs approaching 71. 75 Monday. That's your latest Chicago weather update. Currently, it's 50 degrees.
Because facts matter. You're listening to WCPT 820.
It's Chew's Views with Richard Chew on WCPT 820 AM. Filling in for Richard Chew, it's Michelle Peltier.
Good morning and welcome back. Give us a call at 773-763-9278.
Perfect. So seamless.
Ooh, child.
The Russian judge is going to give you a 10 on that gymnastic maneuver.
Wow.
That was athletic.
And I think it's filmed. Am I on today? Oh, too bad. So I'm excited. I'm excited that you're here, Karen, so that you can listen to. I shouldn't talk about her so lovingly, but I can't help it because she's my BFF, Carol Daniel, in his house with us today, this morning. She has a podcast called Listen St. Louis. She also does some work with the Urban League. She's launched a program called the Sisterhood Promise. Let me read what the promise is before I get her on the phone. We speak life. We lead with integrity. We keep growing. We show up for ourselves. We practice financial wisdom. We strengthen one another. We stand in our power. We pass the baton. And we model generosity.
I love it.
I know. She wrote that. Good morning, Carol. Is she there? Carol, are we on mute? You know I don't have anything else to talk about.
Well, I'm sorry. I had you muted.
And you were just talking, weren't you?
Well, I was talking to my husband a second ago.
Oh, tell him I said hello.
Well, yes, I said, this is Michelle's show.
It's Richard's show. I'm just subbing.
Well, I know, but Richard's not there, so it's Michelle's show.
Good morning, my love.
How are you?
I'm better now. Got you on the phone.
What a way to start my day.
Right. So let's get started. Let's talk about. Let me preface everything by saying Richard's really good about including people not just from Illinois, but people from all over, because we're all connected directly and indirectly.
and we could all help each other. So I'm taking this opportunity because even though she's my bestie, she's also doing some stuff that matters, that's helping to change the world. So with that said, let's talk about Listen St. Louis.
So Listen St. Louis is a 1.5-year-old podcast in its second season. It is on the YouTube channel of 9PBS, and 9PBS is the St. Louis PBS station. And I started the podcast with the help and support of leadership at 9PBS to answer initially the question, how did we get here?
Yes.
My focus is on the Black and Brown community and on our stories, our history, our challenges, our hurdles, our successes, our failures, and all the people who have either helped those things to occur or did not, or stood in the way. So initially, the first season was to answer that question, how did we get here? And I still do that. And the second season has been looking at those people who have made a way, those people who are survivors and thrivers, those people who have faced challenges and faced the system and done something about it. So it's just been an incredible journey for someone who's been a journalist since I was in college, now 41 years.
I'm glad you brought that up because I totally forgot I didn't introduce you properly because I was so excited, but tell people what you were doing before you retired to do this good work.
And you did do a beautiful introduction, and it was proper, okay? I was a radio journalist, news anchor and reporter in St. Louis at KMOX Radio, which is the home of the Cardinals, for 28 years. And I retired almost 2 years. 2 years ago. I retired 2 years ago after 28 years on the air there. And it's so funny. Yesterday, my youngest son came over to help me purge, and I found this sheet of paper, and I don't have it with me in my office, but the last day that I was on the air and the last week I was on the air, we were doing these retrospectives, and I was asked to think about the top 10 moments I'd had. And I remember thinking, 28 years, how can I, think about the top 10 moments? But two of those were the birth of my children, because the first one, when he was born, I had him, and then I was on the air like 10 minutes, 15 minutes later.
I remember.
Wow. And people, listeners would say if they met me or certainly if they met my children who are now 25 and 29, people would say, I remember when you were born.
Yeah, I knew them before they were here, so.
You knew me before I was married, right? And I've been married for 31 years. So my life played out. When you're in talk radio, when you're doing talk shows, as you are, you talk about your life. And so people know, they remember if they're listening. And if they are longtime listeners, they know those things.
Sure.
So interviewing O.J. Simpson was a highlight. And I say highlight, not like it, it doesn't say what I think or anything, but having someone of that historic nature on the air. So 28 years in St. Louis, but a total career of over 40 years as a journalist. And then when I left and retired, I knew that because I was only 60 at the time, I knew I needed to work still. Yeah. And I was able to begin working with 9PBS in a part-time capacity. And launched this podcast. They had never had a podcast before, and of course now everybody and their has a podcast.
Absolutely, yeah. Some of them are good, and some of them aren't.
And most of them are terrible. Can I just say that most are terrible because people do not know how to do an interview.
Right.
People don't, and people aren't curious, and people aren't informed. Is the other part of the challenge there.
Yes.
and this is coming from someone who, I've taught a class on the university level on how to do an interview, because I believe that that's very important. Come on, people.
Yeah.
And so I was able to launch this podcast and have the conversations, Michelle, that I'd always wanted to have and always wanted to hear. And so it's just been a joy. I mean, it has been the administration of it, all that I could easily do without.
Sure.
Sitting down with people and having like real conversations, you're not necessarily constrained by time. I'm not doing, when I first started, one of my longest podcasts, we had to split it into two because we talked for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so I don't necessarily do that. I try to keep them 30, 40 minutes now.
Yeah.
But even in a 30-minute conversation, it's just one-on-one. You can really get into some meat and get into some and dive into some things. The other thing that I'm so happy about with the podcast, and you know this, is that I was able to form a partnership with the Missouri Historical Society based in St. Louis. The actual facility is called the Missouri History Museum. And we are now working on our second season of these Black History moments, Black History vignettes. And when we first started them, my thought was, what if I could just get one of the historians on every other week? What if I could just have them to talk about regular history?
Yeah.
Just some stuff is every day, but the everyday in 1910 was not every day.
Yeah.
A Black person, a woman who was enslaved, who was brought by her master and his wife to St. Louis to make dresses for the family. It might seem every day because that was the lot of life for the enslaved, but it's not an everyday story. This woman eventually became the dressmaker for President Lincoln's wife, and she's a former slave and lived in St. Louis. And so I thought, what if I can just get these stories every other week? And so I reached out to the Missouri History Museum, and they said, well, yes, let's do it. And I said to them in no uncertain terms, please keep in mind that I will be doing none of the research. You guys are the experts. What am I doing? Right. I'm just going to Google it, okay? And so they have all the research, right? That's what they do. And so I had an every other week conversation. We would record everything, every other week conversation with them. And so that I wanted to grow the podcast and to go deeper. And when we started, there were book bans and conversations about what should be taught and who was offended by what and how people were made to feel by history. And so that conversation was beginning then, and it's now full blown. And with history, the erasure of certain history, and the banning of many books.
Yeah.
And so that was in the back of my mind that we're not going to be making up anything. We're going to be talking about what occurred in St. Louis and who the players were, and what and in some instances what it led to. And so we did that, and we've just had a meeting. We're going to bring in more historians. They all happen to be women, but we're going to bring in more historians and launch the second season of this partnership in January. So we'll start tape recording some of those conversations later this month and November. And so I'm so excited by how that has grown and the interest in it, and what I am learning at 63 most of which I never knew. Most of which, Michelle, I never knew.
Isn't that sad? And you went to an HBCU.
Yes, I did, and it was a small Lincoln University in Jefferson City.
Yeah.
I did not. There weren't. I don't even recall. There may have been, but I was in the communications department, and it was a type of setting where you could take advantage of a lot of things, and because it wasn't a large school, and it was a type of setting where you could create your own, because there weren't many people there to tell you no. So you could fashion your own experience, and it really turned my life around. I had flunked out of the University of Missouri Columbia, and my mother said, "What you got to go somewhere. What are you going to do?" There was no coming home,
right?
Where are you going to go to school now? You're going to finish, and so I just decided. Lincoln was 30 minutes away from Jefferson City and Columbia, are probably 20 minutes apart from each other now with the high, people speeding. But it was just the closest place, and a place that all I could afford.
Yeah, sure.
Because my mother was going to pay for college, was going to pay for those last 2 years, and did. My mother had been a stay-at-home mom. My father was in the military. When that happened, my mother had always wanted to work, but my father really didn't want her to, and so she said, "This is the reason she can work, so she can help me pay for school." And she did, and I went to Lincoln, this battered, embarrassed, insecure
girl. But look at you now.
Well, true, but I don't want to forget those.
Sure, I know.
You can't forget those days.
No, it makes us who we are, right?
But, yeah, absolutely. But I don't recall that there's Black History classes. I never took any. Yeah, I don't know that there were any.
Oh.
There might have been. Honestly, there might have been. I just didn't know. I was in the communications department.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
There probably was, Michelle, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I went from home to my class and back home again.
Yeah.
I was coming out of heat, and I was healing, so I wasn't
sure.
Especially that first year. Yeah. So but I did go to an HBCU, and being in an environment with students from Detroit and St. Louis and Kansas City and parts of Florida and there's people from all over, majority Black students at the time, was a lesson for me coming out of as a military brat. That was also a lesson for me coming from a majority white institution.
Sure.
It was, the music and homecoming was completely different.
Yeah.
I can't. We had the Gap Band perform at a homecoming.
What? The Gap Band?
Girl. Yes. The Gap Band, yes.
That's amazing.
That is incredible.
How come I didn't know that? I mean, we were friends then. Why wasn't I there?
I think that and a lot of people listening, if they've had any traumatic experience or highly embarrassing experience where they disappeared from their friends for a minute.
Gotcha.
That's what happened.
Okay.
That's what was going on then.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it formed. I got scrappy. I started working. I got paid jobs. I mean, I had 2 jobs. Working at a radio station in Jefferson City and working for a distributor. It still exists, the Missouri Net, which distributed Cardinal baseball and other things. So I was working as a student, and I came out of college with a resume and a check. So that's the thing about going to a small school and an HBCU, small HBCU, that I was able to make my own way, and everything was available. No one, can I? I never even asked. I just went and did it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on at the Urban League, and then before we go, I want to talk about A Way to Good.
Okay, and look at the time. My goodness.
I know.
So at the Urban League, I've been there a little bit, not long, but I had been at PBS for a year, and then the CEO of the Urban League called me while I was on vacation, and wanted to meet with me and offer me this job to be a director, and it's part-time, of this women's empowerment program called Save Our Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
They have they started with Save Our Sons after Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that it started is staff from the Urban League went into the protests and asked mostly young black men, what do you need?
Mm.
And they all said jobs. So they formed the Save Our Sons Workforce Readiness Program.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, and this has been 10 years, they have gotten thousands of men. I wish I had the exact number, but it's probably 500, 800 men a year into gainful employment, not just, checker at a store.
Right.
Employment. And so young men are getting resume writing, interview skills, those soft skills, and we have 2 closets, and they look like boutiques. They look like stores where if you finish the program, the man will get 3 suits, and then women who finish the Workforce Readiness Program will get 3 dresses, three clothing. It's not necessarily dresses, but
suits too.
But
probably,
the women,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
the men, the shoes, there are belts, and the women, there are purses, shoes,
Nice.
even perfume, all of it donated.
Mm-hmm.
And the Women's Save Our Sisters workforce side began after the women saw, well, you're helping the men, what about us? So they started the women's program. Then in 2018, there was a decision made that we need an empowerment program.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I am the director of. And empowering someone can often be an esoteric thing. You can empower someone just by listening.
Isn't that the truth? Yes.
And then they feel heard.
Yes.
And then they know they matter.
Yes.
And then they are empowered.
Yes.
So empowering
Love
someone can happen in just that way.
Mm-hmm.
And also it can be in other very intentional ways. We have to focus on healing trauma. We have to focus on uncertainty. We have to help people to find purpose. And how do you even do that?
Mm-hmm.
We have to focus on, as you mentioned, reading so beautifully, the Sisterhood Promise that I created. We have to speak life into one another, and we have to help one another continue to grow, and we have to build bridges, and we have to mentor. And so the empowerment program has been a joy. And I will tell you, as someone who has known me since I was 18, that when I first started, the very first event I planned was Women in Corporate America, Women Navigating Corporate America.
Yep.
And I had 1 vice president and 2 CEOs on a panel, both friends and colleagues. And I knew right away when someone said, how many chairs do you want in the room? And do you want food? And I thought, well, what are we talking about? I knew instantly, oh my goodness, this is event planning, and I've never done it, right? And so that has been a great challenge for me. What color tablecloth? I had an event one time, and the woman laid this book in front of me. It was called The Gift of Sisterhood, and we talked about the importance of and the necessity of friendship.
Yeah.
It was an amazing night. I had to kick people out. We all wanted to stay and talk more.
Yeah.
And so as I was planning it was at a different venue, and the woman opens this book and she goes, here are our tablecloth color options. And I thought, girl, if you don't slap some black tablecloth on these, and it made me think of, Michelle, and you remember this story, when I got married.
Yeah.
And we had to go do the registry, and I had to pick get the cake and the food. I was emotionally exhausted making all these choices. My husband, who is a landscaper, your brother, who is a designer by heart.
Mm-hmm.
When we did that registry, he relished that. He knew exactly which plate design. He knew exactly. And I was like, well, what? Can we just? The red one looks fine. So anyway, so it has been a challenge to plan events from that standpoint.
But you also have my help,
Well, yes. Everybody listening, my son and I had a dinner party once. My youngest is a chef and an actor, and that day I was going out buying like vases, and I went and bought flowers. And when I called Michelle after the event happened, Michelle said to me in the sweetest voice, they could have delivered the flowers. And let me tell you, I was dumbfounded because that thought had not crossed my mind at all. I'm running around. I was sweating when I walked into the place where we had the dinner party. So anyway, Michelle, you're saying I know I have your help, but I don't. I don't think.
Yes.
I'm not. I have to think.
You torture yourself at this point.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll be 65 in 18 months. I'm like, how much more of this? How much? I don't know. Do I need to really learn how to do it? Can I just ask people?
No, you don't need to learn how to do some stuff. You don't have to do. But we are coming close to the end, and I was sitting here crying, and I'm mouthing to Karen, I love her so much. Because if you were here, we'd be crying together. But
yes, we would be. Michelle, before you ask me about the way to good, of the 10 Sisterhood Promise principles, is there one that jumped out to you?
Oh, girl. Wait a minute. I'll tell you.
And that will lead us into talking about the way to good.
Okay. What's the one that resonated with me most? We got, we model generosity.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And people, I'll bet you people will hear that and they will think readily financial, and it is that.
That's not what I mean. When I read that sentence, I mean generosity of spirit, generosity of time, generosity of just, giving of yourself, but also receiving say the word, generously receive people's goodness and kindness as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't look at it monetarily at all.
Love it. Okay.
Okay, there's music playing. Cassandra, sweetheart, I'm sorry we missed you today. Carol Ann, I love you. You guys, Karen.
Love you more.
Thank you.
So glad that you're here.
Yeah. Hey, we interviewed Frank Figluzzi. Listen to the podcast. Okay. It'll drop on Sunday and Monday. Sunday for Patreons, Monday for everybody else.
Yeah, you guys have a good weekend. I love you, Carol Ann, Danielle. Mwah. Bye, everybody.
This is Tony Moray. I'm an estate planning lawyer who drafts living trusts and wills. Since the election, I've been hearing from my clients, many of them fellow WCPT listeners. And we all wonder, how did this happen and what can we do? The how is, of course, very complicated. My thoughts as regard to what we can do is simple but important. We need to take extra care of those we love. Having an estate plan using either a living trust or will can provide comfort in uncertain times like these. When the progressive values we hold dear are under attack, I feel we must make sure that our personal lives are secure and then work out from there. I've been drafting estate plans for my clients for over 30 years, and I will use all of that experience